This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
Let's talk about frustration and rejection, because that's an everyday thing too.
Absolutely.
But I won't get ahead of you because the way I perceive you, when you're grateful every day, that's a good mindset and that's a good heart to have.
Yeah.
The gratefulness. But rejection is real and emotions are real. How do you deal with them?
Rejection happens all the time. You can't predict it. It just happens. And sometimes it's from a place that you don't think it's going to come from. And maybe it's really intense and maybe it's just something you can kind of brush off and move around. And maybe it's something that takes a year or more to work around. So rejection is something that everybody's going to hit in their career. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the best drummer in the world, in the most successful band, there's going to be rejection. There's going to be, somebody's going to say something on social media that's going to be just demeaning and like
Right.
eat you up from the inside. And it's really how you handle it that set, people apart. And to piggyback off that, I want to make sure we talk about like mental health.
Yeah.
It's something I care a lot about.
Thank you for bringing it up. My brother died of suicide.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's why mental health is
It's
really close to my heart.
Me too. So there's a band I play for now that I really want to talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
But now especially knowing that about your brother. But everybody's going to hit setbacks and rejection and have problems in their life and heartbreak and
Yes.
Friends and family are going to pass away and animals are going to pass away and you're going to lose a gig or you're going to have an injury like I just
Your
got
back.
my back surgery and other ailments that tend to creep up on you as we get older in age.
Yeah.
So that in itself are those roadblocks that come up and it's just again working through it. So you just make
Don't
adjustments.
glaze over this mental health
I won't.
topic.
It's getting to the point of like everybody has rejection and everybody has difficulties in their life. Like that's when I go around and maybe somebody is not paying attention at the wheel or they're rude to me in line at Starbucks or maybe, my first reaction isn't to get angry. It's to be like, okay, maybe they're just having a
bad day.
a really bad day. Take it for a grain of salt. I mean, I'm not saying like somebody's going to come up and punch me in the face. Like that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if, somebody treats you, I just kill them with kindness. I've never been one to yell back at somebody. I'm just like, hey, sorry about that. Well, there must be a misunderstanding. How do we work through it? Like that's the way I go about rejection. And that's kind of a metaphor for even in music. If I'm like lose a gig or somebody's like, Jack, you really messed that up. I go, oh, okay. I didn't mean to, but tell me how I did. And so I don't do it next time. If you can at least do that so I can better myself.
Communication
and
also is important.
And I think the worst mindset is to be like, oh God, I suck. I'm never going to be good. I'm just going to give up. Not that I haven't ever thought that. I think anybody, that's just the natural reaction. It's to just kind of stop that thought and be like, okay, take a breath, focus on something else. What are good things happening in my life right now? And the sun's out. Maybe I'm just happy that my dog is alive and I get to go take
Those
her for a walk.
little grateful moments, right?
Yes. And again, people's lives can get very difficult and there's lots of things that I can't even imagine people have to deal with. And so that's where the mental health thing comes in. And a band that I started with some session friends. They're all session players around LA. Singer, bass player, guitar player, keyboard player, and myself, all session musicians. And I wasn't actually a fan of Linkin Park, but I obviously knew who Linkin Park was.
Yeah.
And then when Chester had passed away,
suicide.
It hit hard, and around that time there were a couple others, like Chris Cornell was another one. There seemed to be a string. I mean, yeah. So exactly, and my friend Chris Hodges, who's the singer in this particular band, he goes, "I love Linkin Park," and our friend AJ, bass player, he loves Linkin Park. Have you ever done anything? Have you done a tribute band? I go, I've heard of them, but I've never done a tribute band. I've just done like, a variety cover band or the 80s band or like, which I'm still in. And like we were talking about how you do that too. And I was like, no, but that sounds fun. So you just play Linkin Park as like a show. You like, do I have to dress up like them or something? And they go, Not really. Like, luckily, the singer kind of looks like Chester, and
Okay.
and then our other singer, keyboard player, guitar player looks like Mike Shinoda,
Mike
a little
Shinoda,
bit.
uh-huh.
So it's a really cool thing. And then me, the bass player and guitar player, we tip our hat in some ways to the Linkin Park.
Yeah.
But we're like, let's do this. And one of the main goals was because we're like, oh, listen, this is something that's happening all over. We don't want to. We want to use this as an opportunity to help people. And so immediately we contacted Chester's wife. We made sure we have this idea to do this, and we contacted Warner
nice.
Brothers and their management. We're like, we didn't need to. Like, there's lots of Linkin Park
Yeah.
tribute bands, but for us, it was about doing it for not just a gig and to play with our friends, but also to help people and have a reason why we're doing this tribute band. And we take it really seriously. And we started about 3 years ago. The band's called In the End, obviously after the song In the End. And we started playing, and we did a couple small little gigs. But our main thing was, hey, we're here to help all of you. Please come out to the show. You can come talk to us about anything, and we also donate portions of our salary and our merchandise sales to mental health groups and awareness foundations across the board. There's a bunch that we work with on a weekly basis, and we do that. And it started to just expand and blow up, and we were like, people were coming up to us and telling us these stories, and it was just it really affected us. Like, we were getting to tears hearing about these people, and they're like, thank you so much for playing these songs. And I thought about killing myself this morning, and because I had this show to go to, I was like, I'm gonna go to it. And and now that I've watched you guys play these songs, it gave me purpose to continue to tomorrow. And usually they're like, I don't know about after that, but I made it through tonight, and tomorrow's going to be a better day because of it. And that's exactly what we're just like, one day at a time. We're like, here, look us up on social media. Here's my phone number. Call me. If you're in a state where you're like, I don't know what I think this is it. I don't want to live anymore. That's when you call us. And like, we've been trained by different mental health professionals.
Yeah.
And we're not professionals at all. Like, we don't pretend to be. And if somebody comes up to us with a question or a situation we don't know what to do with, we'll be like, I can't help you. Here, give me a hug. It's going to be okay. Don't do anything that you're going to regret or that your family and friends are going to regret. And we take it from that step and just try to help people. And it makes us feel great. And we love playing the music now. Like, I'm now a Linkin Park fan. Like, once you dive into 30 plus songs of a band like that, and you realize this is amazing. These songs
Genius,
are genius songwriting, and like getting to see the reaction of the fans that come out. They trust us with doing the music justice. And
Has any of the band members come out to see you guys?
Not that we know. We've had a couple of like, we had one of the bass players that had been toured with them came out one night. We're close with their management, and we played a gig last weekend, and their main marketing manager, Adam, came out. He sat in with us, and I know that they're aware that we're doing it. One day, Mike Shinoda is going to come out to the show. Mike, if you're out there, come sing with us. Shout out, Mike Shinoda. We love you. So we don't do it for that reason. We do it because we love playing the music now. We love helping people. It's a really fun gig, and to get to see the look on people's faces when we're playing.
But you know what? This is so nice because without knowing who Linkin Park is, but knowing Chester Bennington's story, and now you talking to me this way and talking to the audience this way, it's become sort of like your advocacy to really create, to really, just spread mental health awareness.
Yes. And that's just, in this day and age and during the pandemic, it was something that reared its head up in a way that I don't think anybody was prepared for. I mean, to get through the last couple of years of being locked in your house with, your significant other or family, and dealing with that and having rejection from not being able to work, financial hardships.
Right.
I mean, we went through from murder hornets to Black Lives Matter to, changing presidents, whether it didn't matter what side you're on, but lots of hate, lots of change and turmoil.
Divisive, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. It doesn't matter what side you're on, because I mean, there's just lots of uneasiness in the world, and continues to be. I mean, now we have the war in Ukraine, so there's lots of turmoil in just the stock market and people having jobs the next day or losing money or whatever it is. And it's just a very difficult time to be alive and a human. And it's great to get to play shows again and have people start to show up and have them, not be afraid to leave the house. And, COVID's still a very real thing.
Yeah,
so
it is.
I take it very seriously. I have not gotten it yet, and I get tested. Yeah. Oh, it's a very serious thing, and it's still out there. And I think it's kind of went on the back burner, but it's something that there could be a huge surge again, and we could go back to ground zero in no time. If there was an outbreak of whatever variant or whatever. So I think about that, and I just think it's great that things are opening back up and we can start to play music for people again and give them something to look forward to, in our small part. It's, there's many other things people can do and see and movies and art. But for me, it's great to be able to play in that band and help people.